Welcome. Just wanted to do another video real quick. We've been getting more and more questions in, trying to get more details in just how Dividends for Hope runs currently and then how it's going to run in the future. So we got 7 more questions in, and I want to jump in and just answer those. So let's get into this. 7 more questions, 7 more answers. And please, as always, keep the questions coming. I'm more than happy to answer questions and talk about what the vision is now and what the vision will be in the future. Disclaimer, as always, from a charity standpoint, we are not one in the legal sense at this current moment, but in the sense of having a mission to help others and just trying to make people's lives better, we certainly are a charity. So, question number 1. What kind of personal investment account are the funds currently held in? So, the answer right now, they're in a regular taxable brokerage account through Vanguard. Our current investments are comprised of various index funds, the VTI, the total stock market, the OO, S&P 500, VXUS, International, VYM, high dividend, VPU, utility, and VIG, dividend growth. What we're really doing here is trying to balance out. Some of these funds hold more holdings, some of them hold less holdings, but have higher yields. So obviously, being an organization that just distributes earnings, we want to try to make sure we are diversified so we're not opened up too much risk, but we also can maximize our earnings so we can obviously have more money to distribute. And then as the fund grows, we're also looking to some dividend-paying stocks, but that'll be more so down the line. Our main base will be index funds to diversify our risk. Question 2. Since this is a personal fund at this point, you will be responsible for paying any taxes on dividend gains until the time of transfer. Yes, you're absolutely correct. I just want to say I have no problem covering the taxes right now. By the time we get to the point where the taxes would be significant on the earnings, I'm planning on being incorporated by that point. So yes, right now I am personally being taxed on that stuff. I'm not taking any money out of the fund to cover the taxes. I'm just strictly covering those taxes. Question 3. At the time of becoming an official charity, how will the transfer of funds happen? This is a very good question. So what will happen at that point? I'll make a contribution from the account in my name to transfer the entire balance over to Dividends for Hope. So when I do this, in that year, I will receive a personal tax benefit for the charitable donations. So then what I'll do, because obviously some of the money is coming from me, but most of it is actually coming from other people. So what I'll do there is run a calculation to calculate everybody's pro rata percentage between what they've contributed versus any earnings that are attributed to their contribution, and figure out of the total benefit that I receive, because I'm the one that's making the transfer over, how much of that relates to other people. And then what I'll do there is offer either personal checks to those people in the amount of their pro rata share of the benefit, or if they want to make a contribution, we can do that in their name to the actual official Dividends for Hope charity at that point. Question 4. At the time of becoming an official charity and when the transfer does occur, you will be again held responsible for paying all the taxes. That is correct. I will be responsible for paying all taxes in any way, shape, or form up until actual incorporation. So again, it's in a sense, my thank you to those who have supported this in the early stages. I'm willing to cover the taxes. It's not going to be too substantial, but there will be some taxes involved. But again, I'm more than happy to cover those until we get to that incorporation stage, and then obviously we wouldn't have taxes. Question 5. Has the process of becoming a charity begun? If not, do you have a set date? So in terms of actually filling out forms and filing paperwork, no, that hasn't begun yet. I have begun researching into the steps involved and obviously the associated costs. So right now there's no official date, but if you had to hold my feet to the fire, I would say my hope is by year end 2018, so end of next year, or 2019, depending on a couple factors. One, the growth rate of the fund, and then any non-contribution sources of revenue, i.e. YouTube ad revenue, if we got to that point. I think it'll get into the next question, what I was about to say next. So it's number 6, how will you cover the fees associated with becoming a charity? Donations, you basically using donations, which is similar to what other charities would do. They would take a percentage of donations to cover their costs, or am I paying out of pocket? So the ultimate goal right now is to fund any incorporation costs or taxes through, or tax filing when we actually have to incorporate and file taxes, through YouTube ad revenue, if possible. Unfortunately, I'm not independently wealthy, which if I was, this would be so much easier because I would just do all this myself and it'd be a lot easier. So I am trying to get some outside revenue, like I said, mainly through YouTube to help cover those costs. If the fund keeps growing, though, especially at this type of rate, which would be insane, and I can't find outside sources of revenue, then I'll just go ahead and cover the fees. Because essentially there will be kind of a break-even point for me where, obviously, I said I'm covering the taxes. So if I'm covering the taxes and they get substantial, then it just makes more sense for me to cover the fees to incorporate and kind of save myself the taxes side of it. But obviously right now the tax side is very low. And so I am trying to, again, kind of have to step back and remind myself that this is 2 weeks into it. So, it's still early on where I'm trying to get these other outside sources of revenue going so that we can cover the cost of incorporating and all that. So as of right now, I'm covering all the fees, and then hopefully we can get some outside ad revenue, because I don't want to use any donation money to cover fees. That's really something I'm really, really trying to avoid. Number 7 here. Final question, will tax receipts be available to people making donations? So again, this is another good question. Once we incorporate, they absolutely will, and that's not a question. At the current time, we can't give any tax receipts because we are not an official incorporated charity. So obviously this is going to deter some people probably from contributing at all. It's probably going to deter people from contributing higher amounts. It's going to deter organizations from contributing. So I hope people can kind of see in what we're trying to do, and again, see that it's early stages, and maybe instead of contributing $100, they contribute $20 or something like that. But I hope that even though we are not incorporated now, so I can't issue tax receipts for charitable contribution deductions, I hope people will still realize that what we're trying to do, and we do need that initial capital to get it. We are moving along. We can cover ourselves right now, but obviously the more money, the more earnings, the more of an impact we can have. So I hope we can still get support, and so far luckily we have in our early stages before we get to that incorporation stage, and then obviously once we get there, we'll have a lot more leverage in sense of people will be able to make taxable tax deductions on their donations, and we can go after more corporate donors and things of that nature. But at this time, when we are small, I hope people will still consider donating smaller amounts even at this point. And then just in conclusion, please keep your questions coming. Like I said, I thoroughly appreciate them. I'm more than willing to answer any questions that you have. The more information we can get out there, the better. Anything I missed in this video or the prior video or did not adequately answer, please let me know. Leave a comment below, email dividendsforhope@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. And then finally, thank you for the support. Stay tuned. Things are getting good. Dividends are coming in next week. It's an exciting time to be part of this. So again, stay tuned. Thank you for all the support. Let me know if there's any more questions, and let's keep going.